All right, so at the end of part 2, I was adding these numbers together, and I was adding the number of pencils, number of staples, and number of rulers because that gives me the total number of how many items I have sold for that day on Monday. So again, for me to do that again, I'm going to come up to my formula button, my functions button. I'm going to hit sum. It's going to put the addition things in parentheses in there. I'm going to click on what I want to add together, the cells. So I click on B5. I hold Control and I click D5. And I hold Control and I do F5. And again, it's adding these cells up. And again, I wanted to emphasize we are adding cells. We are not adding numbers. The numbers inside the box does not matter if we're adding the cells together. So I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to have my new number placed in there. Now to save me time, again, Sheets, it's smart, so I'm going to use my fill handle, and I'm going to drag it down. And now I have the numbers of how many items I sold each day. And you can see that the formula changes, B6, D6, F6, B7, D7, F7. So the columns stay the same because we're adding the number of rulers and staples and pencils, but each day we're going to do a new line. All right, and then this is our total for the number of pencils we sold for the entire week. I'm sorry, the total number of items that we sold for the entire week. So now we're going to do the profit of the pencils. So I'm going to create my own formula here because I don't want to go and search for it, but there is the option to come up here and to search for it by going through the all and so forth. But it's the function, it's a multiplication, so we're going to keep it simple. We're going to do the equal sign because every equation starts with an equal sign. We're going to click on the number of pencils. We're going to multiply it, so we're going to use the Shift 8, which is the asterisk. That's going to represent the multiplication sign. And then we're going to click on the cost of that said pencil. And then I'm going to hit enter. So that is how much profit I made for the pencils on Monday. I'm going to take that same formula and I'm going to drag it down using my fill handle. And there are my numbers. That's how much I made each day. That's the total number of pencil cells that I had for the week. I'm going to do the same thing for the profit of the staples. Equals number of staples, Shift 8 to represent multiplication, cost of the staples, and I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to drag that down using my fill handle. And you can see that each time I do that, it copies the equation. All it's doing is changing the rows. Go into rulers, do the exact same thing. We're going to put the equal sign in there to represent an equation. We're going to do the number of rulers, Shift 8, which is the asterisk. So times 50 cents. We're going to hit enter. And then we're going to use our fill handle to pull that down. And then the last thing we're going to do is the total cost. So I'm going to change this total here so it's not as deceptive. And we're going to put in cost. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that sum function and we're going to add up the cost of the profits for the pencils, the staples, and the rulers. So I'm going to hit in sum equals sum, and then I'm going to select the profits for Monday, hit enter. I'm going to click back on that, and I'm going to now use my fill handle to drag it down. There we go. And now I have successfully have done all this, and if I hold Control and use the squiggly button that's right below your escape on your keyboard in the top left-hand corner, so Control, and right next to the 1 is that squiggly line, and it'll tell me all my equations that I have. And you want to make sure that these have equations in them so that we know that if we change one aspect, say this one here, not only would it change this, but it's going to change this, and this all at the same time. So that's the important reason as to why we're going to be using equations and use cell referencing instead of the numbers inside those cells. All right, so part 4 is going to be making this look pretty.